Hey guys, welcome to the gun shop, and today we're going to be looking at this, the Merkel Helix Speedster. Let's have a physical look over this thing. I'm going to start at this end. So we're starting with the Merkel Helix barrel is interchangeable. We'll pull the fore end off and we'll talk about the fore end in a second. So this barrel is a standard weight, standard barrel with open sights. The open sights are removable. It comes threaded in 15x1. However, you can get this in three different barrel lengths, 2 different barrel weights, with fluting, without fluting. The world is your oyster. And the only thing to change between the 3 sizes is mini action, standard bolt head, and a magnum bolt head. However, a standard bolt head will do most calibers that you could need. Let's just lock that on and put this back in place. Before we put this back on, it's worth having a look at the fore end. The fore end differs on the Speedster for being slightly longer, slightly wider, and has this black plastic inlet on it. The black rubber adds a great grip and almost a warm feel on a cold day. As a nice little aside, it actually comes with push button release swivels, which we kind of expect as standard on rifles nowadays. This little nut here will lock the fore end on if you don't feel the need to take it off, or just want that little bit more satisfaction that your rifle is definitely never coming apart. Not that it's going to fall off by any standard. Moving down, the Speedster comes with a 3+1 magazine. The magazine is caliber specific, however we'll do an array of calibers in one mag. This is my only downside. The only hole I can find is that they should have supplied every Speedster with a 5+1. Something that's called the Speedster kind of dictates that it's going to be used for culling work or driven bore, and as such a 3-shot mag, well, it was a bit tight really. They should have given you a 5 with it, potentially. The action is a standard blacked Merkel action. They don't do the Helix in an engraved yet, however you can obviously order a custom one if you fancy. And it's the standard geared Merkel action, so every pull of this arm here makes that bolt move twice as far as this arm moves, making it extremely, extremely quick. The Speedster is fitted with the standard trigger, which goes from 900 to 1900 grams adjustable. However, you can special order it with the target trigger that's spelt ridiculously, like they all are, that goes from 500 to 1500 grams if you want it. And that's gold plated as well, so that you can tell the difference very easily. The real difference with this whole gun is the speed stock over a standard Merkel. The speed stock makes the Speedster, and that has 2 distinct differences to a standard stock. The first is this. If we push these sides in and pull this stock up, remove that this butt plate is interchangeable. They do different lengths and different sizes, so you can custom fit this to yourself very quickly. If you want to take an extra one out for when you take your jacket off to retain that perfect gun fit, you can. Inside there is this Allen key, and that will be evident of why we've got that in just a second. This is a quick adjustable memory cheek piece. If you press this button at the back here, it goes up and down accordingly. You can set the memory via a little lug on the inside there that actually sits on the bottom of the pillar that this rides up and down on, and you can move that to stop this at any height you want. So you can keep it right low and then press the button just to raise it to your standard height as and when you feel the need to. Obviously you can just stop it wherever you want by a press of the button and a push down. It is fairly intuitive. The other aspect is here at the front. They've given you all of the ergonomics of a thumb hole grip, and then just cut the top off, so you can get your thumb, instead of having to pull your thumb out like on a lot of thumb holes to get to the bolt, your thumb can just come out the top. So it is extremely quick. My only qualm with the whole thing is that this little bit here is perhaps a little bit too sharp, and actually does catch your thumb as you run up and down past it. In reality, they probably could have dropped this grip back a little bit and gone for almost a half and half, just to make it that little bit quicker. Every time I just feel like that's getting in the way a little bit. After using an alpinist for a little while, unfortunately your hand naturally does dive back into the grip in this angle, and I expect after a while you'd get used to going back into it in that way. However, going from a standard rifle stock, you do feel the need, or your thumb will ride over the top there. Practice makes perfect, like with all things, right? And that's as much as I can say for it. This gun weighs in at 3.2 kilos, so it's not overly heavy for the size of it. That's just with this standard barrel. Obviously longer and heavier barrels will change that somewhat. To special orders, when you order one of these, you can actually order it with a 5-round. It's a little bit extra, but would probably be a really intelligent idea as opposed to having to buy a 5-round with it. Before I conclude, in the pistol grip of every Speedster comes a pull-through for your rifle, so you can just pop it out and give your rifle a pull-through on the go. A very clever system, certainly. First things first, I feel like, as I've said, they should have given you a 5-shot mag, and then you have to ask for a 3-shot. That makes a lot of sense. I think that the whole thing is very slick. I think the way that it's designed, the way it's done is very intuitive, and that works. Everything just pops apart the way it should, and it's good. It's a very good system. The only thing that I can find as a hole with it, and this is only a thing, is that it's going to take a little while to get used to. And that this grip, actually, as much as I won't get used to it, is just that little bit too scalloped through there. I've got just above average size hands, and given that most of the guys who are more than likely going to buy one of these are average sized men, I feel like they might have put a little bit more intelligence into the grip, perhaps an interchangeable spacer in the back here, so you could either let your finger drop forward onto the gun or push yourself back out with something in that gap. But that's just me. That's the only hole I can find in the whole thing. So negatives aside, I must say my favourite bit about it, and this is going to sound really depressing, is that forend. I feel like the forend is the biggest improvement they've made on this gun over the standard Alpinist. That little bit of extra depth, that little bit of extra length, just makes it that bit more versatile. And that is actually something that's really important here. I do know that the Merkel Speedstock is actually going to be available very shortly. This gun's been out about a year now. The Speedstock is going to be very shortly available separately, so you can buy it and update your Alpinist. For the money, would I? In all honesty, probably not. I think it's actually really good. I feel like the Alpinist is fast enough. It's not like you're going to be held up by that extra few centimetres of movement, or the extra half a centimetre of movement. The only thing I would like to do, perhaps, is buy a forend like this and put it on the Alpinist. I mean, that would probably be the best augmentation you could make. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye, and we'll see you next time.